Today on Riffs, Beards, and Gear, we check out the brand new EZ Bass MIDI Bass plugin from Toontrack. Toontrack have been at the forefront of awesome sounding MIDI instruments, and this is no secret. They have the MIDI piano stuff, they have the EZ line, the EZ drummer stuff, and most notably, in my opinion, the Superior Drummer software, which is incredible, award-winning, and legendary, and it became the gold standard by which all other MIDI drums were judged. Well, they have expanded the empire, and Toontrack just came out with the mighty EZ Bass MIDI Bass plugin, and it's awesome. Now, I myself am a Toontrack artist, and I use Toontrack products every single day to get videos on this channel done, and I'm not going to be showing you so much of a technical manual on EZ Bass, but I'm going to show you kind of a real world use and how I personally use it and some of the things that I love most about EZ Bass. And I will be using my band Dragged Under song, The Real You, which you guys have heard on this channel a couple of different times. And first, we are going to start with the finished song, and then we're going to dive into the plugin, and I'm going to break it down for you. So I am in Logic. I have everything fired up. I have a finished mix using Toontrack EZ Bass, and I'm first going to play you the sound sample, and then we're going to dive into the bass tone itself. That's EZ Bass. That sounds phenomenal. And I will point out that on the Dragged Under album, we replaced all of the actual tracked bass, which we did track. I tracked a whole bunch of it. We replaced it with MIDI at the end of the day because we simply just liked the sound. So I want to get beyond the stigma of MIDI instruments and MIDI bass instruments right at the top of the video. The technology has come so far, and EZ Bass really is as groundbreaking as all of the other products in the Toontrack family. So I have EZ Bass up, and I'm gonna isolate the tone, and here's what it sounds like by itself. It sounds really, really good. Now, something I want to point out right away, and it's a possible misconception, maybe it's one I originally had when I first started using EZ Bass, is this is not a MIDI bass plugin that you can go and just select all sorts of different amps. Being from the EZ line, and if you're familiar with things like EZ Mix, the different tones come from the different presets. Now, I have this preset saved that I have dialed in, but if you want to change the tone and the setup, you have all of these various presets underneath fingerpicked and then also picked tones. And we have two different basses. We have an EZ Bass Modern and then an EZ Bass Vintage, which is more of like a jazz bassy kind of a thing. And it sounds great too. I'm gonna go ahead and play this. And we're gonna start with, oh, I don't know. Let's start with driven pick. Let's see how that sounds. Actually, I really, really like that one. So your controls, your effects tab that you can click on and off will change depending on the preset that you choose in the preset manager, okay? So it's not a pick and choose which amp with which bass. It's using the presets as a starting point for your tone and then tweaking the available effects. So you can see how the effects change as I pick different presets. Let's go 70s rock amp under fingerpicked, and my settings will change. Now, this amp isn't really doing it for me. I'm gonna go ahead and go vintage pick. Let's see how that sounds. Now, I actually like that a lot. That sounds nice, and I'm gonna go ahead and tweak it from here. That sounds really, really nice. Now, if I don't want to use any of these effects, right? If I don't want to use any of the amplifiers, there's of course a clean DI for both the pick and the finger section. So if we want to go the clean pick, we have a clean DI with which to then put after the instance of EZ Bass any amplifier, and theoretically you can even pipe it out and reamp it into a real amp if you wanted to. Pretty cool. So next we have the grid editor. Now, I don't have anything in here currently, but let's go ahead and import something. I'm going to go into Track, Import MIDI File, and I have my bass MIDI for the Real You. So now that I have the MIDI imported into the grid editor, I can do a number of different things. I can change the articulation of certain notes. Let's say this group, I want to have all downstrokes or all upstrokes. I want to have tapping, progressive right hands, slapping. I can have all sorts of different modifiers added to the existing MIDI if I want. I don't want that at this time. However, it is available to me if I want it. I can go ahead and zoom in. And this is just like a DAW MIDI editor. This can go very, very deep. Again, this is not going to be a manual, but once I am done editing, I can then pull the MIDI into my MIDI track in my DAW if I want. And next is the audio tracker. Now, right here, I have a poorly played bass that I laid down on purpose. It's poorly played on purpose. And I'm gonna go ahead and import that. And here are my additional articulations that I do not want. And I'm telling it I want to convert from bass audio to MIDI, not guitar audio, which you can do, and percussive audio to bass MIDI, which we're not doing. Bass audio to MIDI. And here it is. So this is my MIDI that EZ Bass pulled from the audio track of my bass guitar. Now up here is a mixer, and you will notice the more left I go, I can only hear the audio, the original bass track, and the right, full right, is full MIDI, and in the middle is a mix of both, so you can hear if something is missed or not. Now, the amount of notes tab is basically, think of it as a threshold for the amount of notes and the sensitivity to EZ Bass listening for the articulations. So let's see what this even sounds like. Now let's listen to the original bass. It's played pretty badly. Now you hear that bum note. I'm doing these things on purpose because I want to know how good the tracking is on EZ Bass, and it's pretty damn good, honestly. So now I'm going to switch the slider back over to the MIDI, and I know I missed a note right here. And I'm going to come over and I'm going to, with my pencil tool, add another note. I'm going to play it back and see what we got. The velocity is a little off. What I'm going to do is I'm going to peg. I'm just going to top out everything. I'm going to come down here to my velocity tool, and I'm just going to, because I can, and it'll make people mad. I'm going to see how that sounds. Now, if I then want to add this to the song track, I can. I'm going to go ahead and add it to the song track, and you can see down here, it's generated the chord changes. It knows the chord changes, and because I have that, I can then go ahead and be creative and change all sorts of things if I want. And that does it for the EZ Bass plugin from Toontrack. I love this plugin. It's a huge leap forward sonically in the articulations and the sample quality for the bass guitar. I would love in the future to see more expansion packs on this, which I'm sure are coming, much like the other stuff in the EZ line. Nowhere to go but up from here. This is a really, really great starting point. And if you are feeling creative and traveling and don't have a bass player, EZ Bass is a great option for you. All the pickable links down below in the description. You've been wonderful. I've been Fluff. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. If you enjoyed the video that you just watched, please consider subscribing. It helps me, help you, and then in turn, you get more stuff to watch. And also, I have all sorts of stuff down in the description of this video. Sweetwater giveaway stuff. There's all sorts of links to all sorts of things. So consider checking that out as well if you're gonna hang. But if you don't hang, all good. I still love you.